Good morning. Welcome to Blissful Monkey. Saturday, 10 a.m. There will be a gentle, warming Vinyasa practice this morning to help shake off this winter weather in May. So hope you're all warm, cozy, and safe, and enjoy class. We'll start in mountain pose. Just begin to ground through the feet. Beautiful. Connecting with your breath. Maybe rock forward and backwards a little bit, side to side. And really just find your center. You might take a couple shoulder rolls. Maybe a little movement through the hips, the head, the neck, anything to help you find your center. Your breath begins to deepen. It might feel nice to open your mouth on your exhale, sigh it out, let it go. And then begin to find your center through stillness. And because we want to build some heat this morning, start to zip up through your midline. So it's almost like you're wearing a full-length jacket and it's zipping you up right through the center, wrapping you in, feeling everything lift, the joints stack, and that your muscles are knitting themselves together to hold your skeletal frame. One hand to heart, one hand to belly. And breathe. 3 deep inhales and exhales. Following those cycles of breath, the hands come to meet at heart center. Set an intention for your practice. Remembering that most of our yoga practice happens off of our mat. And so inviting your intention to support the practice on and off of your mat. As you inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Palms come to touch. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Interlace the fingers, make a basket, and place them on the base of your skull. Knees are soft. Weight is rocking into the balls of the feet. And even though we're in our forward fold, we're still zipping up through our midline. So feel those bandhas, those abdominals beginning to lift in and up. Release the hands to the floor. On your inhale, slowly roll up to stand. Sweep the arms up overhead, lift the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold with a little bit more speed. Inhale all the way to stand. Exhale, right back down, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. To flat back on your inhale. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Pause here. Find that buoyancy through the belly, through the hips. Press your mid-back up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Look forward, step the feet to the hands, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. To flat back, inhale. As you exhale, step the left foot back, tenting onto fingertips. Beautiful. As you inhale, scoop your chest up and through, broaden through the collarbones, hips might drop. As you exhale, lift hips high, straighten out right leg. Move with the flow of your breath. Keep drawing that right hip crease back. Zipping through your midline, even with the legs wide and separated. One more time. Pause here. Inhale, flat back. As you exhale, bend into right leg, plant left hand. Inhale, right arm for a twist. Spin your left kneecap back to the floor, square off those hips. Beautiful. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, hinging at your hips, hover your belly and chest over right thigh. You can stay here with your arms or reach them out overhead. That left leg is working and contributing just as much as the right. With a long spine, inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Look forward, feet to the hands, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the right foot back, tent onto fingertips. Pause here, find that buoyancy. Engage through the legs. As you inhale, you scoop your chest up and through. As you exhale, you extend left leg long. Move with the flow of your breath. One more cycle. Pause here. And breathe. Inhale, flat back. Look forward, bend into left knee. Inhale, left arm lifts for a twist. Beautiful. Activating through that right leg, spinning the kneecap back to the floor. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen through your ribs, draw your belly button in and up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hover belly and chest over left thigh. Keep activating through your right leg. You might extend your arms long overhead. Pause here. Keep breathing. Inhale, long spine, high lunge. Exhale, hands to floor, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Another inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift right leg, bend the knee, peel open the hip. Inhale, knee to nose. Use your tummy, hover. Step the foot between the hands, high lunge. Exhale, hands behind low back. Any position, interlacing the fingers, wrist to wrist, elbow to elbow, reverse namaste. Now, knit your ribs, pull your ribs in, beautiful. Lift your low belly in and up. You might bend your left knee a little bit so you can drop your tailbone a little heavier to the floor. Lengthen through the spine on the inhale. As you exhale, hinge at hips, hover belly and chest over thigh. Keep a little upward lift through the chest. Inhale, come back through your high lunge. Warrior 3, bounce off those left toes as you transition. If it feels better to have more of an airplane variation with the shoulders higher than the hips, you're welcome to here. Keep breathing. Dial that left hip point down to the earth. Beautiful. Left foot will meet right, chair pose with the hand bind. Again, drop your tailbone, knit your ribs, beautiful. So Terri will demonstrate one more time. She'll stick her butt out a little bit, collapse through her belly, and now she'll drop her tailbone, engage her belly. Inhale your arms up overhead in chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Start to find your flow. Exhale, chaturanga. Your inhale to upward. Exhale, downward facing dog. A big inhale. Exhale. Inhale, left leg lifts. Bend your knee, peel open your hip. A long inhale as you draw your knee to your nose. You step your foot between your hand and you sweep up to high lunge. As you exhale, hands behind low back in any variation you'd like. Maybe changing the order of the finger interlacing. Continue to find that low belly engagement, the dropping of the tailbone. It always helps maybe to bend your back knee a little bit to find that place. Breathe here. Lengthen through the spine on the inhale. As you exhale, hinge at your hips. Hover. Keep a little bit of a back bend here. Scoop your chest gently up and through. Inhale, high lunge. As you exhale, bounce off your right toes, warrior 3 or airplane pose. Beautiful. That dristi is strong. Belly in and up, low back longer. Right foot meets left, chair pose with hand bind. Sit down even lower. Kindergarten style chairs, nice and low. Inhale, the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Draw that right hip crease back once you find your hook. Breathe into those thighs, fuel them with your fresh oxygen because we're gonna come back through center. We're gonna stay in our chair. We'll inhale, lengthen our spine. We'll exhale, twist to the left. Enjoy the heat. Inhale through center. Exhale, sit down a little lower. Inhale to stand. Just shake it out wherever you want. Beautiful. Refine that foundation. In Tadasana, mountain pose. Refine your zipping up through your midline. Come back to your intention. Lion's breath. Take a big inhale. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue. Exhale 2 more times. We'll find our sun salutation. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Surya Namaskar A. We'll meet in our downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Start to track your elbows gently towards each other. Spin your triceps to the fronts of your thighs. And now begin to hover your forearms off the mat. A little turbo dog here. Beautiful. Breathe here. All knuckles are activated into the floor. Stay here in your turbo. You can do it. Inhale. As you exhale, slowly lower the forearms to the floor. The knees might have to bend to compensate for those hamstrings. A little dolphin pose. We'll get this one in early on. Beautiful. Zip through your midline, all the way from your heels, up your inner leg line, through your spine, down the back of the head. Elbows energetically drawing towards each other. Palms activating into the mat. Lift your low belly, in and up. If you'd like, you can inhale your right leg here, bend your knee, and peel open your hip. It might feel nice to come more onto a tenting of the right fingertips, or stay here, beautiful, in your full dolphin. If you're taking this variation, can you, on your exhale, draw your right knee to your right arm while staying on your left forearm? Oh yeah, nice. Inhale it back. 2 more times with the flow of your breath. Look at Terri go. We'll meet in full dolphin. And forearm tabletop pose. Woo! Take some cat and cows. You can see that she measured out the distance between her elbows. All right, come to your hands. Curl those toes under. Downward facing dog. Start to activate the elbows towards each other. Find your turbo dog. Low belly, core is knit, in and up. 1 more breath in. Exhale, slowly lower the elbows and forearms to the floor. You might stay here. Adjust the feet and legs to support you in your dolphin. If you'd like, you can inhale your left leg up. Maybe bend that knee, peel open the hip. Remember, asana is all about stages. The whole practice of yoga is all about stages. It's about meeting yourself where you're at. Terri's tenting up onto that left hand. As she exhales, she might experiment drawing that left knee to that left arm. On her inhale, she kicks it back. 2 more times with the flow of your breath. Beautiful. We'll meet in full dolphin. Big breath in. Big breath out. Find your knees, forearm tabletop pose, or come onto your hands and maybe spin your fingers towards your knees to open up the wrists. Take some cat and cows, some barrel rolls. Are we warm? Okay. A few more cycles of breath. Slow down the heart rate. Invite balance and even cadence back to the breath. And from tabletop pose, we'll just step the right foot between the hands. Knee down lunge. Pause here. Beautiful. Finding your variation. And as much as our hips want to collapse down to the floor, see if you can lift up through your pelvic floor. Find a little bit more buoyancy in your hips. And then draw your hips forward to the wall in front of you. If you really want to go for it, press through the top of that left foot and hover that left knee off the floor. Maybe you try it for just a second. Maybe you can hold it for a few breaths. As you exhale, hands frame the right foot, shift the hips back, half Hanumanasana. Keep those right toes activating towards the ceiling. Engage through the front of the leg to let the back of the leg lengthen. Your inhale will bend into the right knee. Keep the left hand planted. You might heel toe that right foot out just a little bit. And then begin to find a quad stretch. Opposite hand, opposite foot. Right hand reaches back for the left foot or ankle. And you can see that Terri is giving space in her hips so that she can press her hip points forward to come off the left kneecap. She's on the soft flesh of her thigh as she finds her quad stretch. And just as she's pulling the foot to the bum, she's kicking away a little bit as well. Low belly is in and up. We're still activating through our core, through our bandhas. This is a big muscle group, so 3 more inhales and exhales here. Quadriceps means there's 4 muscles that make up that compartment on the leg. Gently release the left foot when you're ready. Hands inside right foot. We'll find Malasana prayer squat. So the left foot will step to the outside edge of the left hand. Breathe here. And again, find your zipping up action through your midline. And even though the legs are separated, there's still an energetic zipping. There's a connection between right and left leg towards the midline. Your next exhale, the hips will lift high. You'll forward fold, any forward fold of choice. Maybe a yoga toe lock. Maybe you wrap the arms around and between the legs. Maybe you find a half forward fold with a flat back. One more big inhale. And exhale, release your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. As you exhale, step your right foot back, Anjaneyasana, knee down lunge. Finding any variation, but remember, the hips are still buoyant. They're pressing forward. There's a zipping up. Notice if any tension is being held in your physical body beyond just simply muscle engagement. See if you can let that go. And your next exhale, you'll frame the left foot. Oh, thank you, Terri. If you'd like, activate through that right foot, hovering that right knee off the floor. Student always has to keep teacher accountable and vice versa. Beautiful. Half Hanumanasana. Activating through the front of your left leg so the back of the left leg can lengthen. Your next inhale, you'll bend into the left knee. You might heel toe the left foot out just a little bit. Pause here. And then you'll transition to your quad stretch. Left hand reaches back for right foot or ankle. Again, heel toe that left foot out as much as you need to create space in the hips so that the hips can drive forward and you can come off of your right kneecap. If you're at home, you can always take a book or a block or something sturdy if you'd like to bring the floor up to you to make this quad stretch a little bit easier on the body. Keep breathing here, channeling that fresh oxygen to that quadricep compartment of the leg. Two more cycles of breath. We'll meet in our Malasana prayer squat. You might like to stay here for a few breaths. You might like to find a connection between your triceps and your knees. Plant your hands, lift your hips. Keep zipping up through that midline as you find your crow pose. That's where that buoyancy, that zipping action really comes into play. You can see Terri is lifting, she's pressing. We'll all find our flow to our downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Begin to walk the hands back to the feet. With the right hand, first two fingers find a yoga toe lock. The left hand comes to the hip, and you'll begin to come up to standing for Padangustasana. You might stay here. You can bring the arm to the inside of the right foot. Beautiful. Again, find that zip. Drop that tailbone, belly in and up. You might begin to extend the right leg out in front of you. Beautiful. Breathe here. We're going to offer Terri a little challenge here and those of you at home. So if you have your yoga toe lock, see if you can begin to bend a little bit into your left knee. We're going to see if we can keep our yoga toe lock and slowly draw the right foot to the floor for pyramid pose. So you might find the stance is a little narrow, and then you might have to rearrange, but just see if you can find that control. A little pistol squat action. No, just like, a little pistol-like action to get to the floor, to find that pyramid pose. Beautiful. Woo! We're incorporating the Blissful Monkey Challenge, getting Terri to experiment. You at home having some fun. Settling in. But we could try a pistol squat variation, couldn't we? No pressure. Those darn pistol squats. They're here to stay. All right, frame that right foot with your hands so that the hands can anchor into the earth. Begin to lift your right toes. Begin to lift your abdomen. Beautiful. Can you lift the right foot off the floor and step back to your short down dog without bending? Yeah, beautiful. Good job. If you want to experiment, you can step the right foot back between the hands with a straight leg or as straight as possible. We'll go back to our downward facing dog and we'll walk our hands back. Yoga toe lock on the left side, right hand to hip. Begin to make your journey upward, Padangustasana. Tailbone heavy, belly in and up. You can begin to extend that left leg long, however long it can go. Check in with those abdominals, see if they can contribute a little bit more to create a little lightness in that left leg so that those left fingers aren't holding on to the foot for dear life. Beautiful, breathe here. With control, we'll experiment by finding a half-bound pyramid pose. Beautiful. The stance might be a little short, so you can rearrange the body. Settle in. Both legs firing on equally. There's length in your low back here. Frame the left foot, hands anchored into the earth. See if you can begin to lift your left toes, lift through the abs, press through your back, and maybe with almost or a straight left leg, you step back to a short down dog. Beautiful. You might step the left foot back forward between the hands. Woo! And one more time, back we go. Yes, nicely done. Unfortunately, it's a turbo dog. Elbows activate towards each other. Hover those forearms. We're gonna have a little fun. One more inhale. Exhale, the forearms slowly lower to the earth. Dolphin pose. You can always remeasure. Ensure you have that foundation. The elbows are activated towards each other. Now, let's see if we can draw the right toes to the right elbow. Yes, and back. Two more times. Woo-wee, yeah, one more. Big inhale. And exhale. Can the left toes find the left elbow? You can see Terri's shoulders really shift forward. Her hips come with her. Building a little core strength for some floating and upside down action. Beautiful. Now, walk the feet a little closer to your elbows. The knees are going to bend. Can they get a little closer? Can the knees start to find your armpits? Maybe you find a forearm crow. Woo. Beautiful.
This is a challenge.
It sure is.
Coming up, Blissful Monkey challenge.
If you're still in that forearm crow, we're gonna meet in our dolphin pose. I promise just a little bit more time in our dolphin. It's probably many of our least favorites or one of our least favorite poses, but it sure does do its job. If you'd like to go upside down, now is the time. Otherwise, we'll all see if we can stay here for 5 more cycles of breath. Terri's just doing some gentle hopping, very gentle. There's not a lot of kaplunking that's happening. She's using that zipping up action. She finds her center. Her ribs are knitting, her belly's in. Beautiful. And it's a child's pose for us all. Might feel nice to bring your arms down by your sides, hands towards heels in this child's pose, just to give the shoulders a little reprieve. Terri's opting out of rest and rejuvenation. She's going for a pose she's been working on. You're still in your child's pose. You're breathing. 3 more inhales and exhales. This is a great time to come back to your intention. Sometimes it feels nice to make some edits, especially as you feel that transformation happening throughout your practice. A little bit more recentering, grounding, perhaps less anxiety, a greater sense of being present. And so through that transformation, there can be more wisdom that we can access, because a lot of the distraction and internal and external noise has faded away. We'll meet in our forearm plank. The left forearm is going to spin towards more of a 45-degree angle. We're going to spin onto the outside edge of the left foot for a side plank on our forearm. And a lot of it depends, that base arm, that left arm, depends on shoulder comfort. So it can stay more aligned with your mat at a 45 or more at a right angle. The hips are high. Take your right hand to your hip. On your exhale, lower your hips just a tiny bit. On your inhale, press your hips up. Keep moving with your breath. Work on some oblique muscles. You can always do this with knees dropped. You could always hover that right leg too and do this. Who knows, maybe you even have Padangusthasana with your right leg and you do some hip lifting. Get those obliques working. How about 2 more? You'll come back through center. Take a big breath in, a big breath out. We'll transition to side plank on our right side. Take your time, set yourself up. Hips are high, left hand to hip. On your exhale, there's a gentle lowering of the hips, and on your inhale, there's a lifting of the hips, moving with your breath. About 1 to 2 more times. Forearm plank, child's pose, tabletop, anything you'd like. For 5 cycles of breath, your practice is your own. Customize it. Nourish and nurture yourself. We'll extend this by a few more cycles of breath. 5 is never quite enough sometimes. Slow down the heart rate. Reestablish the foundation of your breath. We're going to meet on our seat. So you might simply roll off onto a hip. You might find a creative way, like jumping through a pistol squat down. But wherever you are, find your seat. Extend your legs long in front of you. Lift the flesh away from your sits bone so that you can anchor into the earth. Lift up through your hips. Create space in your hip creases. And as you exhale, find a very gentle forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Your hands will begin to connect with the aspect of the leg that they're aligned with. Start to find a grip. Give yourself a little space so that you can lift your chest, hover your chest and belly off your thighs, engage through your core. The knees might bend a little bit, but see if you can keep this connection, hands to legs, and transition to a boat variation. You might have to do a little rocking, a little experiment. Yeah, a little figuring that out. Beautiful. And then engaging through your core with this bind. can you very slowly rediscover Paschimottanasana, keeping this connection? So of course, safety first, but there might be a little kerplunking. Settling in. Very slowly roll on up. We'll find starfish pose. So the soles of the feet come together, the knees are wide, there's distance between your pelvis and your heels so that you can really find a release through your low back. And now invite your belly contents to just sort of be free. Don't worry about any zipping up. Give yourself that space and freedom to really surrender. Three more cycles of breath. Find that unwinding, that rolling up. Help your knees together. The soles of the feet will come to the floor. Place the hands by the hips and just gently windshield wiper the legs a little bit back and forth. Fingers will face the bum. Beautiful. Your knees come back to center. Feet are hip distance width. And begin to press through soles of feet and palms, reverse tabletop pose. Might feel safer to keep the chin closer to the chest. It might feel nice to just simply and gently invite the head to fall backwards. On your exhale, with the hips hovering off the floor, try to shift the hips back between the wrists and inhale back to reverse table. 2 more times. Nice, using those open hamstrings. We'll meet in reverse table. 3 inhales and exhales. And on your way down, you might shift your hips back through your hands and maybe try to hover your legs. Or maybe you're ready for the hips to come to the earth. Woo! We'll roll onto our backs. A nice full body stretch, maybe interlacing the fingers, spinning the palms to the wall behind you. Maybe some ankle circles, some pointing and flexing through the feet. You're welcome to stay here in more of a full body stretch. You're also welcome to find a bridge or a wheel if you'd like that in your practice today. The other option is Supta Baddha Konasana, so just like we were in Starfish, but now on our back. So a couple options here. Whatever you choose, see if you can be there for anywhere between 3 to 5 cycles of breath. Literal space in the body, space in the mind, space in the breath. And so explore that in these next few moments. We'll meet back in our full body stretch to transition to our happy baby. Press the hips a little bit more into the earth than you might normally. The eyes are beginning to close. The drishti is going inward. And we'll begin to find a knee down twist variation to the right. Over the next moment or so, you'll find a knee down twist on the other side. On behalf of Terri, myself, and Blissful Monkey, we are so grateful that you've tuned in and shared this practice with us, either this morning or in a future period of time. And then choosing any final pose prior to Shavasana, or perhaps you're ready and ripe for your Shavasana. We'll all officially arrive together in our Shavasana. And today, especially, honor that this pose is our peak pose. This is the paramount pose in the practice. I'm sure we've all experienced some days we're more ripe for stillness and internal peace. Perhaps we even start to drift down many of the rungs on the ladder of consciousness towards sleep. And sometimes in our Shavasana, our mind is so active. There's a dialogue happening. And so today, honor wherever you are. Acknowledge and surrender to this state of being. Just like fruit, if we're not quite ripe, we might be slightly bitter or more rigid. And so life might not be as easy. And when we're ripe, life is sweet, joyful. It feels easier. And so cultivating these moments for yourself so that you can feel this ease and serenity. So that cultivation of a truer and greater depth of compassion can manifest within you. Deep inhale and exhale. If you'd like to stay here longer, you're welcome to. Otherwise, you'll begin to roll onto your side for fetal pose. When you arrive in your seat, the hands come to heart center and take a few moments to give thanks. Hands to the third eye. In reverence, namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you.